Good morning. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020. Near the end of this week's Parsha, which is the double portion of Matos Masai, we have a very important mitzvah with many ramifications and applications to our society. And that is the mitzvah that Hashem tells Moshe to command the Jewish people when they come into the land of Israel, they should set up Arei Miklat, cities of refuge or cities of sanctuary. And now there are several aspects to this, but one of them is V'hayu lachem he'arim lemiklat migoel v'lo yamus harotzeach, that the person who has killed someone else may be in danger of revenge from the relatives of the victim, and if the person who has killed is in one of these cities of refuge or sanctuary, then he is safe and will not be endangered by these relatives that may seek this revenge. The Torah makes it clear that we're only talking about a situation kol make nefesh bishgoga, where someone takes the life of someone else bishogeg, inadvertently. For example, the Torah says, im bepesa blo eva hadafu, if a person caused someone else to lose their life without anger, v'hu lo oyev lo, he was not an enemy of this person, v'lo mevakesh ra'aso, and did not wish any evil. In other words, it was accidental. Now, obviously, it's still a very serious thing. It results in loss of life, which is tragic and serious, and requires some type of judicial response. But it was an accident, and notwithstanding that, the relative of the victim may want revenge. So, in order to protect this person who is not deserving that the relatives of the victim should kill him because of what he did, after all, it was only accidental. So in order to protect him, then he goes or she goes to the Ir Miklat, to the city of refuge, the city of sanctuary. Okay, very important. As I say, lots of elements to this and many ramifications that are relevant today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this from another angle later tonight. But what is interesting now that I want to focus on is the sentence. So how long does the person have to go there? How long does the person have to stay in the Ir Miklat? And here we see something very strange. The Torah says, V'yashav ba, and the person who caused the death of the other person, if he is found that it was accidental, v'yashav ba, and he shall remain there, ad mos kohen hagadol, until the death of the kohen gadol. Now, the kohen gadol had nothing to do with this. The kohen gadol, the high priest, may not know the person or have anything to do with this tragedy, but when the Kohen Gadol dies, everyone who is in one of these cities goes home at the same time, which is very, very strange, because that means that all of these people that essentially committed the same crime, negligence, they're all leaving at the same time, but they all arrived at different times. So your term may be days, it may be years. And somehow this event of the death of the Kohen Gadol allows all of these people to go home at the same time. It seems like a very strange system. So what is it about the death of the Kohen Gadol that allows all of these people to go home at the same time? So in the past I've shared one answer to this, and today I'd like to share another answer. And this is an answer that I think is particularly meaningful and relevant to us today. And the answer comes from Tzioni, which is one of the classic, lesser known, but still classic medieval Torah commentators. And he says as follows. Let's understand the situation. You have a person who caused the death of another person by accident. The relative of the victim wants revenge, even though revenge is not really called for, like the Torah says, Hu lo oyev lo, v'lo mavakesh raso. It was not an act of anger. It was not intentional. The person was not trying to cause the death of this person. It was an accident. However, revenge, like anger and jealousy, is very strong. And it's not good. It eats away at you. It can destroy you. But it's there. And then something happens. The death of the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Again, the Kohen Gadol had nothing to do with this. The Kohen Gadol is a tzaddik, a righteous person, the spiritual leader of the Jewish people. When the Kohen Gadol passes away, it's a national tragedy. Everyone is affected. And in the face of a national tragedy, people realize we are all experiencing this together. There is a commonality between all of us. There's a famous folk saying, Tsa'aras rabim chatzi nechama. Shared suffering is a partial consolation. Now, of course, not everyone is affected positively in the face of tragedy. And even if we are, it can wear off quickly, as we see all around us today. But we also see this today. When there is a tragedy that affects a nation, a society, the world, there is the potential to use the opportunity, to take stock, to rethink our priorities, to let go of unjustified grudges, to recognize what we share, what we have in common. When the Kohen Gadol dies, there is the potential for those family members, relatives, who are holding on to plots of revenge where it is really not called for. There is the opportunity, the potential for them to rethink, to focus on what is really important, to let go of what is not so important for their own benefit. We desperately need to heed this message today as we go through this pandemic. We need to use this as an opportunity to take stock, to reorder our priorities, to let go of what should be extraneous, and to hold tighter to what should be essential in our lives as we experience this variation of the death of the Kohen Gadol. My friends, I want to wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon in person.